All right, hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Who Pod. I am Josh. With me, as always, is my co-host Jack Phillips.
Hello there.
And joining us for the third time is Bradley Fuller. Hello, Bradley.
Hello. I'm wondering when I'm going to be starting to be called a co-host.
I think you've got to get a series under your belt first.
I was going to say it's got to be a
whole
season,
series.
A whole season.
Yeah.
That's a bit of a joke, if I'm honest.
How are you, JP?
This could be my last episode.
I'm good, thank you. I'm good. How about you, Josh? You all good?
I am good. Thank you very much for asking. And Bradley Fuller, how are you?
Oh, I'm not too bad, thanks.
Good to hear. Good to hear. Loved your TikTok last night, Bradley. Although it was actually Jack's TikTok, right?
No, that's a lie. All right, Jack said it as well, but I was already had that in my head. So yeah, it was already my TikTok.
Honestly,
Jack just jumped on it.
We're sitting there watching this episode. And it was like, you know, the Leonardo DiCaprio meme where he's just sitting there watching TV and then he just like whistles at the TV and points. I was like, that's it. It's gotta be. But yeah, no, Brad made it, so I can't argue with that. I don't have the technical know-how how to make a TikTok, but yeah, Brad made the TikTok. I came up with the idea, you know. So I don't know where you was in this process, Josh, but
I started the whole social media idea. It's my conception.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are on a podcast with Mark Zuckerberg. He started the social media.
I started podcasts.
I started this podcast. All right, let's jump straight in, boys. School reunion we are doing this week, aptly named because they're in a school and there is a reunion. We'll start with Brad. What were your overall thoughts on the episode?
It's an all right episode. I think it's a low level episode. Like it's not as interesting as other episodes, but I think obviously everyone knows what makes this episode is the return of an old companion, Sarah Jane Smith. But yeah, as an overall episode, I don't think it's amazing, but not bad.
Jack, going in, did you have any idea who Sarah Jane Smith was?
Not a clue. Brad had to explain it to me.
There you go.
He still didn't understand nearly the full way through the episode. So,
yeah. I didn't get the robot dog either. Didn't get that one. Wasn't sure on that. But
no, come on, let's tell everyone what you actually called it.
What did I call it?
Can't decide if you can't remember or if you don't want to say it.
Go on, Bradley. Say it for us.
I'm genuinely looking through. I'm looking through my notes.
You said it was the autistic robot dog.
Oh, good.
Oh yeah, it did reek of autism, man.
What was autistic about him?
That's exactly what I asked.
I don't know. It had a twitch.
It's a fucking robot. What are you talking about?
I don't know. I don't know. It was just the way it spoke. Like it was very matter of fact and very. I don't know. It just I got autism vibes from it.
You want your robot dogs to be more conversational, do you?
Yeah, exactly. Rather than just like, kind of flying around the gaff like a shit robot on Robot Wars,
I fucking love Kane. I love his little voice. I love his little affirmative master. It's fucking brilliant.
See, that is like kind of that's autism vibes right there.
What do you?
I disagree. I think he's brilliant. I'm disappointed they didn't use him more in the Sarah Jane Adventures as well.
Oh, they use him a fair bit, didn't they?
No, first series, he's not used at all. He's stuck in that black hole thing.
Nah, is that true? That's the second series, isn't it?
I've rewatched it recently. It's the first series.
Probably for the best.
I'll have to go through that. Maybe we could do it as a second podcast.
God, you have a few going now.
Yeah, we'll do 3 episodes tonight, lads. Okay, so
yeah,
the introduction, JP. What did you think of that little cold open?
Well, I mean, it was just straight into it, wasn't it? It kind of reminded me of the name escapes me now. The game show episode, the start of the 2-parter at the end of season 1.
Oh yeah, Bad Wolf and Part of the Ways.
That's it, Bad Wolf. Yeah. So it was just straight in. You just kind of there was no explanation as to why they were in a school or anything like that. It was just straight in, and part of me likes it, part of me don't, because I'm sitting there thinking, okay, this is interesting. You want to see what's happened, and it's almost disorienting and everything. But at the same time, though, I like a little bit of backstory. I want to know why, like, what attracted the Doctor Rose to that school.
Yeah, but that's filled in along the way.
Yeah, it is. But again, I just like groundwork being set, a little bit there and then that's it. I mean, it doesn't have to be like reams and reams, but like literally just kind of like uh the Doctor Dances. Kind of like the Doctor Dances where, it's kind of set up straight away into they're chasing something that they can't work out, and then that's how they end up in World War II London. Um, it just has to be a couple of frames, not even that. But I don't know. As I said, I do like it though, because it does drop you and it does kind of leave you a little bit disoriented. You're trying to work out what's going on. You're trying to work out what the characters know, what the threat is, where they are, and at what point in time they are as well. Which, again, as I said, it works. It works in this episode.
Fair enough. Brad, do you agree with that?
I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't really listening to what he said.
Off to a flyer.
Sorry, I zoned out a bit there. Tell me again, and then we'll edit this bit out.
No. I think
What
maybe because we've seen it a couple of times, we don't have that disorientation. So maybe we feel a little bit like it's a little bit more explained. But no, I think it's an interesting way. It doesn't waste any time. It drops us straight in, and then it explains throughout the story. Okay, Mickey saw there was some goings on, so he called the doctor and Rose back. They've infiltrated the school. She's a dinner lady. He's a teacher. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
When I said the intro, I meant more the creepy head teacher, Will's dad from In-Betweeners, scurrying around the school and just eating that poor orphan.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. The whole episode seemed a bit noncy, Mickey watching a school. Why was Mickey watching a school? The headmaster literally just, I mean, look, Anthony Head is, I think he's probably his best role he's ever played on TV was the Prime Minister in Little Britain. But,
Josh, do you know who that is?
The Prime Minister in Little Britain.
No. Do you know who the man who plays the headmaster is?
He's in loads of things. He's Will's dad. He's who else is there? He's in Buffy the Vampire Slayer. He's
in real life though. In real life,
who is he? His name's Anthony Head. Come on.
I don't know. He's the father of the girl from In-Betweeners. I know that. He's Carly's dad in real life.
Oh, yeah, that's it. Yeah. I'm surprised. Brad didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
Shocked.
Yeah, he's a famous character actor, and he is absolutely fucking creepy as shit in this. This is like everything about him in this. The way his hands don't move when he walks. The way, right, there's a bit like halfway through, he does a little hill turn that they zoom in on. I'm like, oh, that was quite cool. I'm going to start doing that. And the way he can contort his face when he's screaming towards the end. He's one of my favorite Doctor Who characters, I think. I wish he had more.
Yeah, I mean, look, in terms of the actor, I think he's probably the best actor for it, really. Just because obviously, he's worked with the BBC before. That they've got him on their books, and he does play the role really, really well. You kind of, as you say, it's very creepy, it's very eerie. You know that something's going on, and I'm saying that fully aware that literally at the start a small child got eaten by him, but you're fully aware that something dodgy is going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. And then it obviously cuts to David Tennant, the 10th Doctor, as the teacher. Physics. God, I'd have loved to have David Tennant as a teacher.
Oh yeah, so would I. I'd have done so much better. I would have done so much better at A-level physics.
But it leads me to a question.
Go on.
We mentioned it last week. His little reading glasses, or so I thought they were reading glasses, right? I think this is going to become a bit of a recurring thing. Are they reading glasses or are they decorative?
To make him look smarter.
Yeah, decorative.
So you think he's just using it to show off?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, fair enough. Because last week in Tooth and Claw, he used them whilst he was reading books, but this time he's using them to like look out at his students and the whiteboard and stuff. So they're not reading glasses, and then he uses them again next week, which we'll circle back to. But you think the Doctor is just using them to look smarter?
Yeah, he's using them. So you got kind of. I mean, he's got to stamp his authority on the children. You just put on a pair of glasses and they're like, oh, the teacher's smart. Which, by the way, I really, really got. They do those kind of like skits for Red, or at least they used to do the skits for Red Nose Day. When you'd have like kind of the Little Britain one, and you had Catherine Tate in there as well. And it really reminded me of a Red Nose Day skit. It was just like the Doctor as a physics teacher. I was like, okay.
Well, Brad,
I was do a Doctor Who one.
Brad, like this is one. This is a skit that they do. David Tennant is a teacher. Catherine Tate is the student. She's like, sir, do you fancy Billy Piper? Do you fancy Billy Piper, sir?
That's a brilliant sketch as well, to be fair.
It's dead funny. Yeah, you should watch it, JP. Yeah,
I'll
YouTube
give
it
it a watch.
after this. Just YouTube it. Yeah,
Yeah, no,
Isn't there
I didn't
another one
realise.
with there's another one as well, an actual Doctor Who one with Peter Davison?
Oh yeah. Where he meets the
That
fifth
Red Nose
Doctor.
Day one?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
for
yeah,
sure.
no, so I definitely got Red Nose Day vibes from it. Yeah, which again did take me a bit out of it because I was expecting to just see a little message across the bottom just asking me to donate £5 to, kind of Red Nose Day. But yeah, look, it is what it is. The smart children straight away, you're like, "Oh, something's up." The children are smart in a school. What's going on here?
Yeah. In a fucking, what's it called? No, is it comprehensive school?
Yeah, London Comprehensive.
London Comprehensive. Yeah, there's no smart kids in a London Comprehensive.
I don't know. There are, but kind of far and few between. Apologies for anybody that went to a London Comprehensive. We went to an Essex Comprehensive. We're in the same boat. Don't worry about it.
What did you
But-
think about it being the chips that make them smart?
That was a weird. I don't know where they got that plot point from.
It's a bit
Wow,
kid
well,
stream,
right.
really, isn't it? Imagine
Huh?
eating chips
Well,
for
yeah.
your school dinner and becoming smart instantly.
Well, I can tell you why it was included as a plot point. It's because this is the period where Jamie Oliver was reforming school meals. So it's a social commentary on chips being bad for you to try and boost Jamie Oliver's healthy eating campaign.
Is that true? Well,
Yeah,
that's
that's
actually
true.
Yeah, but surely if
Wow.
you're smart, that's a good thing.
Yeah, but I think eat chips and you're going to be farmed by bat teachers. I think is the message they were going for.
God, that's what I've been doing wrong my entire life. Not picturing being eaten by a bat person. There you go.
Yeah, that'll help the diet along now.
Yeah, they just they can't capture you if you can run away from it. Is that really the reason why they did chips?
Yeah, I swear to. Well, yeah, that's the reason they put it in the food. Yeah, I think before it was going to be like they had. It was going to be like a microwave was being emitted that was making kids smarter in the vicinity. And then Jamie Oliver came out with his campaign, and they were like, "Oh, let's make it food." Yeah, so thanks, Jamie Oliver. You ruined school meals, but you gave us a mediocre Doctor Who episode.
Where
Yeah,
did you
I really
actually
want
hear
that
this?
Yeah, I was going to say two things.
The trivia page on IMDb. So it's probably about 50% true.
Yeah,
So it's not true then.
the original
there?
point was I was going to say the original point was it was supposed to be turkey Twizzlers, but they just thought that was too on the nose. And they were like, "No, we can't. We absolutely cannot. We got to make it a little bit more subtle than that. Just put the chips. That'll do." Oh, they should have made them smiley faces.
Yeah, I imagine it's mentioned in like the confidential, but I couldn't be asked to watch it this week. I couldn't be asked. But JP, you mentioned last week the Doctor's sensitive tongue. Do you not think it's weird that he can't tell that there's something up with the chips? Like he's just sitting away eating them. It takes him a while to put it together, right?
Yeah, see that was weird because of course, yeah, as you said in the last episode, Tooth and Claw, he licks a door and he's able to tell that it's coated in mistletoe, or some kind of mistletoe infused wood. But yeah, no, it's very strange that he's kind of not able to taste, and he's just like, "Oh, these chips are really good." But the only thing I thought though is technically he's probably the smartest man in the universe, isn't he?
Yeah, probably.
So you can't go up from there. So he can't get any smarter than he actually is now.
Okay.
So there's no like kind of, he's at his ceiling. He can't go above the ceiling. So if there was knowledge that he needed to know, he would have learned that knowledge, then realised and gone, "100 minutes, something's up with these." But I don't know. Again, I'm surmising here, and I'm pretty sure that at some point there's going to be someone that's smarter than the Doctor. But that's what I thought. That's the way I saw it.
Fair enough. I just thought it was funny that he couldn't taste that the chips were like whatever it is, the krillitane oil or whatever it is that's actually making them smart. Like he had to rub it on K9's tongue to figure it out.
Silly dog, honestly.
Fuck off.
I really don't like the dog, man. I really don't like the dog.
How? How can
It
you
really
not like
annoys me
K9?
that you don't like the dog because the dog is probably the best part of this series, I would say.
I don't know. He looked like a shit. Like, honestly, right. When I used to watch Robot Wars as a kid, you used to pray for the robots. Like, you'd see some like kind of team come in, and they were like this kind of like they've made a robot of like crisp packets and kind of the lollipop stick things, and you just like you're praying for it to get absolutely decimated in the ring. And I was just sitting there. I was just waiting for Refbot to come in and just start counting down. I was like, it's gonna happen.
Oh no!
Matilda comes in and just like. Oh, I can't stand the dog. No, I just didn't like it. Wasn't a fan of the dog.
You're tapped in the head, mate.
I did have a grade 2 concussion this year. So.
Well, that'll be it. That'll be it. But anyway, we can't
Yeah.
talk about the dog without talking about Sarah Jane Smith, who is amazing and sort of fit as well.
I'm not going to make a comment.
Yeah, I will also hold back there on what I was about to say.
But
Let's breeze over.
But she is.
In it.
I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked. That's all I'll say.
No,
Yeah, I mean, it's,
as I knew
if any of us had a track record, like for saying that women of a certain
Type
thing, type of fit, then
for a 50-year-old woman, which she was at the time, she is fit. Neither of you would turn her down. I don't even know if we could say this. She's dead. This is probably like a blasphemy thing.
Is she?
Should
Yeah,
probably,
she passed away. Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, she died of cancer a couple of years back. Yeah.
Oh, that's shit. Because
we're gonna edit this bit out. Yeah.
We are.
Why are we going to edit this out?
A lot has been said.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just saying that she definitely had out. You love older women, you anti-nonce. Now you know.
I think she's an absolute rocket. I don't give a fuck.
No, I mean, not fair play if that's your opinion.
We'll put a poll on the socials.
Anyway. Going back, I thought she was a very interesting character. I mean, look, I've never seen any of the old Doctor Who before. Brad had to explain it to me who she was.
Have you seen them actually, Josh?
I started watching them on BritBox, and fuck me, are they boring?
I've never actually watched any old Who. I think I watched the first episode with William Hartnell, and I couldn't stomach it.
It's a fucking trek, honestly. They're like half an hour episodes, but each story is like 10 episodes. It's just
oh really? So it kind of is just like the world's longest 10-part, really.
Yeah, exactly.
You can do a podcast on it, put it this way.
Oh fuck that! We'd be here all night.
Episode 1, part 5. Yeah, okay, fair enough. But no, I've got to say, no, she did seem like quite an interesting character, and I like the fact that it was almost like a commentary on this is Rose in the future, kind of. Yeah,
for sure. Or it's one way it could have gone. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true actually, because they had that kind of mystery about the Doctor like leaving her in the technically the past, but kind of leaving her and just abandoning her and everything. And that was a really interesting plot point on the fact that Rose and Sarah Jane had to overcome their kind of, you know what? I wouldn't even say it was their hatred of each other. I'd say it was Rose's hatred of Sarah Jane, because I don't think the feeling was mutual. I think Sarah was all right with it. I just think that Rose was a bit jealous, and I think that was where that conflict came from. It was Rose's doing, right, as opposed to Sarah being, because Sarah's been there, she's done everything. She's been with the Doctor, she's travelled with the Doctor, and that's it. So,
yeah, for sure. I think there's a little bit of jealousy on Sarah Jane's part at the fact that this is her getting over it. By the end of the episode, she's like, okay, no, I have moved on from the Doctor. But I think at the start, she's like, oh, fuck, but you left me, you abandoned me, and just moved on to the next one. So I sort of see that. But Brad, what did you think about the whole the whole plot point of what happens to a companion after the Doctor?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it puts the thought in Sarah Jane's mind of, oh, you just left me and ran away and never came back for me. And then it also puts that same thought into Rose's mind of, oh, is this what you do to us? You just put us on the side of the road one day and leave us. Like, is that what's going to happen to her, sort of thing? And obviously, as we know, Rose and the Doctor have a nice little relationship going on, and she obviously doesn't want that to happen.
I was sort of jumping forward a little bit to the end of series 4, where some old faces come back and someone says, this is what you do, Doctor. Anything. You turn people into soldiers. So I thought the fact that Sarah Jane, she's now this investigative journalist, she's breaking into schools at night, she's investigating danger. This is like laying the seed for the Doctor does turn you into soldiers, right? Like he weaponizes the people around him.
I only agree with that on behalf of Martha, to be honest. I mean, we're really delving into future series here, but she's the only one that I think really turns into a soldier. Maybe Jack, but he's already kind of is. But, I wouldn't call Rose or Donna a soldier.
Fair enough. We'll circle back around to that really. When we get there. Okay, fair enough.
Can we talk about the villains?
The crazy bat teachers. Can I just say one thing before we jump onto it?
Go on.
Is it interesting that they chose to make the black teacher a black bat?
Oh, we did talk about this when we watched this. To be
We
fair,
talked about that. Brad pointed that out. In fairness, I think that was a bit mean. I'm not gonna lie. It was almost as mean as making Rose the dinner lady and the doctor the teacher. You know, it's like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, fair enough. Like, yeah, that was an interesting design choice.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't know because they say that the humans are just like a projection, and if you scratch the surface, but I don't know, man. I mean, for a different time,
yeah,
I
they
guess.
morph into the bats, don't they? So it will keep the same sort of form.
I guess so. I don't know. I don't know. It's strange.
Yeah, no, it is a bit of a strange one. Almost as strange as the fact that they looked near identical to the villains of the first Scooby Doo movie.
Yeah. Oh, they do a bit. To be fair,
Yeah, you know what I mean.
I'm trying
I
to
was
think of what
expecting.
the villains are in the first Scooby Doo
they
movie now.
don't
It just
fly, do they? But
they
they're
don't fly. No,
sort
no,
of,
no, no. But they
and
got
they're
that kind of
blue.
like, yeah, well, bluey purple kind of, aren't they? But
Yeah,
they're kind
yeah.
of like that reptilian. It's not even a reptile thing, is it? It's just like a demon thing, isn't it?
Yeah, that squidgy sort of
Um,
demon thing. Speaking
yeah,
of
which
them,
was
you
yeah.
mentioned last week, you both mentioned last week that the CG had stepped up a notch. Do you still hold on to that after this episode?
I don't know. I think at the time it would have been impressive, but I don't think this one held up.
I agree.
Like
Brad?
as I said at the time, yeah, no, I fully agree. But
I'm trying to think of where this actually. You're just talking about the villains in terms of this.
yeah, the actual monsters.
Yeah, and the
I don't think they're
CGI
that bad.
explosion at the end, and
Yeah, you don't really see much of the explosion. It's just more of K9 shooting it, and I think the slow mo bit's a bit bad, but I don't think the Krillitanes are that bad. To be fair,
I don't think they're that good. If I'm being
it's just a bit
honest with you,
deformed.
just
No,
a bit.
I think as I said back in 2006, where yeah, I think that would have held up. But nowadays, you got better stuff around that it doesn't really stand up. But it's not the worst CGI we've seen this season, so can't complain.
This is true. The wonkiest bit of CGI I think is when the teacher
K9?
is fuck off, man. That's all practical. What are you talking about?
What did he say?
He said fucking canine.
I really don't like your slander towards K9, and I really hope the listeners get on your back as well.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I just
Roast
didn't. I
Jack
didn't.
for hating K9.
let's just.
Yeah,
I want the listeners to note that he hates canine, but he likes Mickey Smith, who's a really good
The
person.
Tin Dog.
the tin dog. Yeah, I actually put a note. Poor Mickey. He got called a tin dog.
Oh, I love
I'd
that.
be
That's
insulted too.
so
That's
funny, man.
K9.
I love the bit where he's like, "Oh, make sure you crack a window," and he goes, "But he's a tin dog. I meant for you."
Yeah, good for you. Yeah,
But no, I was
yeah.
going to
No,
say the
that is.
wonkiest bit of CGI is when the black teacher is mauling a student underneath the desk. Kenny walks in, sees him. The teacher stands up and then is human and just lets Kenny on his merry way. And Kenny, by the way, is the coolest fucking kid in the world. He barely even phased by it. He doesn't mention it to anybody. He doesn't shit him. He just gets on with it. What's that all about?
That's
Well,
a
it's
good
the
point. I
first
didn't
step in
even
being a
think of
career
that. To be fair.
terrorist.
Yeah, that kid is going to be
Silence is key.
scarred for life. I want to see what that kid is doing now.
Blowing up schools, maybe.
He must be. He must be. But also, why does the bat teacher let him go?
Yeah, that's a strange one to be honest, because it's obvious that they he sees Kenny and he goes, oh, he's seen me in my like natural form, and then he just lets him go. Like, sure, if you'd have seen him just as a teacher, you could go, okay, yeah, obviously he thought he got away with it, or if he hadn't have made direct eye contact with Kenny, but he did. So it is a strange one, but it furthers the plot. Someone's got to blow up the school. Let it be the kind of the short fat kid.
I guess so. Speaking of furthering the plot and not making much sense, the reason Sarah Jane is there is because she's doing a piece on the new head teacher, right?
Mm-hmm.
She's pretending to, yeah.
She's pretended to, but the head teacher, for all intents and purposes, thinks he's having a piece done on him, right?
Yeah, yeah.
If you're an undercover alien trying to crack the code of the universe by effectively brainwashing kids, are you going to be like letting newspapers come in and investigate you? Or would you try and keep a low
Bad
radar?
publicity is bad publicity. That's what I say.
I like it's a catch-22 because at the end of the day, if you say no to someone, they'll be like, well, that's a bit suspicious. You're a school. You should just, kind of go in and
Okay.
there's no secrets. But at the same time, though, if you invite a reporter in, they're going to, leave no stone unturned.
No,
So,
that's a good point. Yeah, I didn't think about the saving.
It's a risk. It's a risk.
Let's also remember that teachers are very good lawyers. Like Ofsted would come into school.
Where's that coming from?
Wow, that was a statement and a half.
Remember how things would change in school when Ofsted came in, just to show an external person what it's like. That's exactly what's happening here.
Confirmed on this podcast. Bradley was touched by a teacher as a kid, and they got away with it.
What? What's that got to do with anything?
They're good lawyers. They managed to get out of it somehow.
No.
Make a Channel 4 drama on that. Get
That's
David
weird.
Tennant to play the teacher.
Oh dear. No, I don't know. Yeah, that was a bold statement there, Bradders. That was a bold statement.
Do you not agree when we was in school and Ofsted used to come in and it was not a normal day?
I mean, it was just I went to school.
You would basically fake lessons. Did you not do that?
Fucking hell, I don't know what was going on with the X half of the year, JP, but
No, I was to say our half was fine. We just carried on as normal. That was it.
No, I remember it.
I guess it must just be a top set, bottom set thing, JP.
Yeah, it must be. It must be.
Yeah, you must have they just left you to do whatever, didn't they? Really?
No, I will say though, I kind of get where he's coming from. The fact that when you go when yourself, you're up for a job review, and someone says, "Oh, what do you do?" You make sure that all your ducks are in a row a month before, and then you go to someone, "Look how good I am," and then they go, "Wow, look at this. Let me have a look at last week," trying to catch you off guard, and then it's exactly the same. That's it. If I was ever doing a job review of someone, I'd be like, "Okay, now show me the week before that."
Yeah,
because
exactly.
That's it. But yeah, no, I kind of get where he's coming from. But yeah, no, it's
quite clear and obvious, to be honest.
Yeah, well, we've just lost all our teacher listeners, so thanks for that, Brad.
Yeah, sorry guys. Remold the future, reshape it. Yeah, another part of the episode a part of the episode I did actually quite like was the pissing contest between Sarah and Rose, when they're starting kind of talking about, oh well, I've been here and I've done this and I've done this, and I'm just sitting there thinking, damn, that's quite cool actually. And then they just, for some reason, on a dime, just start taking the piss out of the doctor.
Yeah, I love that. That's a great bit.
And then it's just like all is forgiven. That's it. And it's like, oh, okay, fair enough. I suppose that is all it took, was just they kind of just needed to vent their anger out and just get it all out in the open. And they realized that actually they are the same. They're pulling from the same side. They're on the same team. That's it. Why wouldn't they be friends? Which I quite like actually, because as I said, Sarah Jane was quite an interesting character. And
interesting.
I mean, did she come back or?
Spoilers. Yeah, I love that bit. When they just start pissing themselves at the doctor, apparently, and again, this is taken from IMDb trivia. David Tennant.
So another thing is not real.
David Tennant is wearing a fake moustache and didn't tell anybody, and that's why they start cracking up laughing.
Ah, fair enough.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, it's quite interesting.
We also point out, like we've said, how much we like Sarah Jane. She's, I think, as far as I know, she's the only companion to have her own program.
Well, unless you count Jack.
Yeah, I've got my own program.
Very good. But yeah, for sure, Sarah Jane.
A full-time companion, though.
Well, would you class Sarah Jane as a full-time companion in the new Who series?
No, but she wasn't the old one. So
yeah, she wasn't the old one.
I don't know. Does it count?
Yeah. I'm going to say yes.
All right. Well, there you go. That puts that to bed then. Thank you very much. Good lad. This is a democracy.
Yeah. We just talk about the fact that Mickey, we know that Mickey now works in a garage. And right at the start of the episode, he says that he's an expert at infiltration.
I think that's in line with Mickey's character, though.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. He sat on Call of Duty. Did Call of Duty come out? Yeah, no, Call of Duty. So he sat on Call of Duty for a bit, and he's like, "Yeah, I got this."
And let's not forget, he hacked the missile coming to Big Ben. The kid's been through it, to be fair.
That's true. No, that is true.
It'll be very sad to maybe see him go in a couple of episodes.
Oh, what did you say that for?
I didn't say anything. I said maybe see him go.
Now, in fairness, I thought Sarah Jane was going to die in this episode.
I'd have been heartbroken. What would we have done without the Sarah Jane adventures?
Yeah, I don't know. I just got that feeling. You know what they kind of for some reason I've been watching a lot of war movies recently, and they always do it. They always build up the character, like they kind of like make them human, and they're like, oh, look at this, and there's a genuine connection, and then they just kill them to just make it brutal. And I was just like, I was expecting her to be like kind of like sacrifice herself or something like that. I was waiting for it, but no, they kept her alive. So fair play.
It would have been quite interesting, to be fair.
I think it would have been a nice character, right? But if they gave her own series, then yeah, that might not have worked.
Yeah, no, definitely not. But yeah, no, I Mickey claiming to be counterintelligence, whatever it is, I think is hilarious. I love the fact that he over eggs himself and then he screams like a little girl when some rats fall on him. I think he's brilliant.
Yeah. Yeah, but you would though, wouldn't you? Because you're sneaking around in the dark and then you open the door and like loads of cold things just fall on top of you. You're not sure what they are. I mean, maybe not scream, maybe just jump or something. But no, I'd say Mickey's reaction is probably a genuine reaction.
Yeah, for sure. Those rats were yellow as well, right?
Yeah,
the
they kind of,
scientific.
yeah.
Is that how you know which one's a scientist in the wild? You're only allowed to hunt the yellow ones.
Obviously, they're not like normal rats because normal rats are brown, aren't they? So you go, oh, they're obviously alien because they're yellow.
Yeah, but
No,
no
they're
one
not
comments
alien.
on it. No one says they're alien rats.
They do. They're not alien rats. They're the ones that you dissect in
But why are they
science.
yellow?
Why are they yellow then?
Because
I
they're
thought they
fake.
were
They're not
alien
real
rats.
rats.
What do you mean?
They're just fake rats.
Fake
Why
rats
would
as
you
in
dissect a
like
fake
in the
rat?
show they're fake rats, or we're supposed like
No,
I don't understand what you're saying.
I think in school, like, I mean, I remember in school we dissected a heart or something, which is presumed real. I can't remember, but I think if you're actually going to dissect a rat in real life, you wouldn't use a live one, would you? So it's like like a toy rat, isn't it?
Okay.
Is
You
me thinking
wouldn't
that?
use a live one. Yeah, you just got to chase it around the classroom a load of times just to try and
Not a
get that
live one, but I
fatal
mean a
killing
real
blow.
one.
Why would we be dissecting real hearts but
Why
not
would
real
you?
rats? Where's the line there?
Yeah,
That's a good point, to be fair.
And
But
also,
we had,
if they are fake rats, why make them yellow?
yeah.
to make it clear that they're fake.
It's not a BB gun, Jesus. You don't have to like, oh, this isn't a real rat. Don't worry about it.
This is the stupidest rationing I've ever
I'm gonna
heard.
Google it. I'm gonna Google it.
Our
Yeah.
science
While you're-
rats are yellow.
Yeah, our science rush yellow. Well, while some investigative googling is going on, that was a difficult word to say. I'm going to quickly talk about what I thought was the Easter egg this episode.
Oh, we're jumping straight in, are we? Go on then.
Yeah, no, we're jumping straight in.
Sorry,
I feel like
but
we've got a bit of time to kill because Brad's going to have to go to page 2 of Google to try and find out why the rats were yellow. The Anthony Head's character says to the doctor, weirdly enough, over the swimming pool as well. That was the most non,
I love
kind
that.
of romantic thing in the world. It was the lighting, like the lighting was perfect. The pool was there. It's like, why did they decide to do it in the swimming pool? But anyway, that's by the by. He says to the doctor, he says, you could become a god. And of course, we all know what God's right hand and left men are. They're angels.
what's that?
All right, JP. So I've got a question for you, mate, because
Mhm.
you're picking up on a through line through the series, which is exactly what we asked you to do.
Yep.
This is what, episode 4? 3?
3, isn't it? Only 3.
Yeah, 3 this
So
one.
3. What do you think the outcome of all this angels talk is?
Well, I know there's an angel bad guy. It's the ones that you do. They move when you don't look at them.
Yeah, the weeping angels.
Yeah, so I'm guessing it's setting up those at the end. They're going to be the season finale.
Okay, interesting. I would say just to
That-
keep
that-
things interesting rather than like repeating the same thing every week. We think you may have got it without giving any hints. We now want to hear what your theory is for how this is all going to tie together.
Yeah, I mean, I know the only thing I know about they are weeping angels, and that's what they're called.
I don't know if it's what you're specifically talking about, but there is a bad guy in Doctor Who called the Weeping Angels.
The ones they're like statues, and then you turn away and then you turn back and they're there. Like they move when you don't look at them. Those ones. I again, I don't know if they're like kind of like the Daleks where they're controlling over everything that's going there, and they're trying to lure the Doctor into a thing, and it's like kind of some kind of hints about angels coming or something like that. But I reckon that's what it's going to be. They're going to be the main bad kind of, they're going to be the main villain at the season finale.
Okay. I mean,
was there anything else you saw in this episode that you thought that rang any bells? Shall I say?
Rang any bell? Oh, Christ, it's going to be something with bells in it.
Church bells.
Oh, fuck. I'll stick with the angels. I found an angel.
Bells of heaven.
No, fair enough. No, I think
Okay.
you're doing exactly what we told you to do.
Yeah, and now everyone's going to laugh at me at the end of the season finale when it's some kind of
We'll
bell
see. You
monster
might be
or something.
right.
No, K9 turns back and it's a bell end. That's it.
Right. Anyway, moving swiftly on. We've spoken about K9. I like this episode. I don't think it's great. So let's wrap it up. Let's talk about the finale. Oh no! Before we get to the finale,
can I just wind back? Can I just wind back to something? I have sent a photo to the group chat. It's the first thing that comes up when you Google scientific rats, and it's yellow. So I'm right.
I'm just going to do exactly the same thing now. Talk among yourselves.
I mean, that does not. That looks like a. Is that a rat?
I googled rats.
What is? Yeah, but what's the difference? But surely, if you just Google a rat, you're just going to come up with just a brown rat.
To be fair, I've Googled school science rat, and there's no yellow ones.
No,
there's not a single yellow one.
All right, I don't know. Here we go. We're going to put this one to the comments and everything. If you ever dissected a rat in school, so whether that be in the UK or America or wherever you guys are listening, was the rat yellow or was it just a normal rat? Or did you?
Oh, wait a second. So a yellow rat is a preserved rat.
Thank you.
What, like dipped in vinegar or something? Like
presumably like a pickled rat, yeah.
A pickled rat.
Speaking of, new series of Rick and Morty dropped a trailer. Did you see it, guys?
No. I've heard they've changed the voices though. Is that true?
Yeah, because one of them was a pedo.
Oh dear.
Okay, that's why.
Rick and or Morty.
Which one?
I don't know. I think it's the same guy.
Oh, is it? So they
I was gonna say a lot of the times people do the like kind of voices for different characters. You look at
like the woman who does Bart Simpson,
or the woman who does Bart Simpson.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think he's the writer. He's Rick and he's Morty and he's some other voices, and he's like a pedo or a nonce or a sexual abuser or something like that.
Nice.
Ouch.
There we go.
Brilliant.
So speaking of being a nonce, these teachers are grooming these kids to become God. I think is that what that was about?
No, to crack the code.
They're trying to crack the code. That's why they want to do it. They want the kid. Yeah, and they need the kids' imagination. That's why they use kids. They need the kids' imagination to kind of bring another level to the working out the code.
Did you buy any of that?
I mean, adults have imagination. You got to look at artists and filmmakers and I don't know, surgeons. Maybe.
I think the plot was a bit poor. It's I think it's a bit of a Sarah Jane Adventure plot. It's a low level plot that just it's a filler episode. Let's be honest.
I've got to say, look, I know we're kind of tailing towards the end of this one. I think this is the weakest episode we've seen so far.
Whoa! Out of every episode.
Yeah, no, so far this is look. I watched this episode and I don't know. Maybe it would have been different if I'd have seen kind of the old Doctor Who or something like that, because you kind of build up on that nostalgia with the Sarah Jane vibe and everything like that. But to me, I just had no interest in this episode. It was just a bit of a, it was like the as I said, the villains were a Scooby-Doo villain knockoff. Yeah,
interesting.
It was a plot that they were just like, oh, the chips are giving the kids brain power to go unlock a code where they can. I don't know. It didn't strike me on this one. This one, I just wasn't a fan of. It was a bit of a boring episode to me.
Interesting. Brad, do you sort of feel the same way?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the villains. I think they're too low level. I don't think the plot's that great. The only things I do like is Sarah Jane and K9, to be honest. And Mickey. Mickey is good in this episode.
Yeah, I'll agree with you. It's not that much in plot. I think it's more to put people in the right places for what's to come down this series. But I think it's definitely better than the Christmas Invasion, and it's definitely better than New Earth as well, for sure. It's just a nice little story. You can just whack it on. You don't need to know any of the before. You don't need to know any of the after. You just whack it on. You're in the middle of the adventure. I think it's all right.
I don't know. It wasn't.
That's the thing, though. It's all right.
Yeah, it's all right. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't good. It was just in the middle. It was middle of the road. It just wasn't anything that.
Standard 5 out of 10.
Yeah, no, that's it. It's a solid 5 out of 10. And the thing is, as well, is like if you was to say to someone, like me, for example, if you'd say to someone, watch one episode of Doctor Who, there's no way you'd choose this episode.
Fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. I get that. Okay, let's jump to our rating system then. You've both said 5 out of 10, which is not the system that we use. Love it or hate it, guys?
No. I feel like hate's too strong of a word, but
I'm going to be brutally honest here. This is my 3rd episode on this podcast. I don't like the rating system. I think it's poor.
No. It's simple. It's a simple rating system. I feel like hate is too strong a word.
I can't decide. I can't decide on this one, kid.
I'm going to say hate it. I'm going to say hate it.
Whoa!
Yeah, I just like as I said, I feel like hate's too strong of a word, but I didn't love it. Like every episode we watched of Doctor Who, I've gone, that was a really good episode, and this one, I don't know. I feel like I'm scratching around for things to say. It's just like, meh.
No, fair enough. Well, them absolutely is the rules. So, Brad, love it or hate it, mate?
I really don't know because I don't hate it and I don't love it.
Well, you've got to pick one.
It's David Tennant, so love it.
Fucking hell.
I mean, as you say, then the rules. That's it. Josh, I'm guessing it's a love it from you, but what's your thoughts?
There's definitely more good in this episode than there is bad. I like Anthony Head as the head teacher. I think the whole God complex thing, although it goes nowhere, I think it's a fascinating idea. K9's great. Sarah Jane Smith is fit as fuck. It's a love it from me.
Interesting. So, the first controversial episode where we haven't agreed on an episode, whether we love it or hate it.
Yeah, I can
you agreed
foresee
on every single series 1 episode.
Yeah,
every single series 1 episode is a love it. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, but I wasn't there to review that.
I looking ahead, I know immediately there's going to be at least 3 more episodes, I would say, where me and Brad are going to disagree. I don't know where your hat is going to fall on them, JP.
Could be. The hat's blown off in the wind. It's gone.
Oh, no, 4, because I think next week's episode, we're banking these, by the way, so we're going to do 2 on the trot. But next week's episode, I think we're going to massively disagree on as well, to be fair.
Interesting. Well, listen next week to find out what we think of the Girl on the Fireplace. But no, to wrap up this boring episode, really, to say the least. Josh, is there anything else you want to add?
Not really. Thanks for listening. Thanks for engaging. Certainly the Instagram is going to be quite quiet for the next week or 2. It has been this week as well, so apologies for that. But keep the love coming, keep the messages coming, and thanks for listening, guys.
Yeah, appreciate it as always, guys. And we will catch you next week for another episode of Doctor Who.
Yep.
See you next
week,
listening,
guys. Leave us a review, leave us a rate. We love you. Adios, amigos.